Good evening and thank you for joining us. Marking his 4 years in office, Chief Executive John Lee spoke with TVB News about his track record during his term, including Hong Kong's economic growth and waiting times for public housing. Regarding whether he will seek re-election, he said it was too early to say. Timothy Lee reports.
Chief Executive John Lee will soon enter the final year of his term. In an interview with TVB News, he said that looking back on the past 4 years, he is satisfied with his track record. These included turning around the economy from a negative growth of 3.7% when he took office to a positive growth of 3.5% last year. Tourist arrivals, imports and exports of goods, and consumer spending have all increased steadily. Several long-standing issues have been resolved, including legislation on ride-hailing services. There have also been the introduction of basic housing units and light public housing to address the issue of subdivided flats. The waiting time for public housing has decreased from 6.1 years to 4.7 years. Lee said he is optimistic about the future. He used an analogy to describe his work. He said if he builds good sports facilities for all athletes, some will come in first, and some will fall short of the top 3. Therefore, the government is responsible for the overall environment, but self-strengthening depends on each athlete, who are the actual operators. He also explained why Hong Kong's 5-year plan is needed. He said various departments have long-term plans for different sectors, such as the Northern Metropolis. The advantage of the 5-year plan is that all plans are unified, with a 5-year development goal. With 1 year remaining in his term, John Lee said it was too early to say whether he would consider re-election. But he said he's grateful to Xia Baolong, the director of Beijing's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, for giving him a thumbs up after completing a research and inspection tour in Hong Kong this week. Lee said for any public servant, whether him or his colleagues, receiving recognition is an encouragement. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
On the deadly fire at Wanful Court in Tai Po, which claimed 168 lives, Chief Executive John Lee said criminal liability will be pursued based on facts and evidence once the Independent Inquiry Committee submits its report. The tragedy has exposed serious loopholes in building maintenance oversight and widespread bid rigging issues. The city leader said as it is now about halfway to the committee's reporting deadline, he is confident in the inquiry's capability. The new chair of the Competition Commission, Senior Counsel Jet Siu Tong, earlier proposed to criminalize bid rigging under the competition ordinance. The CE says the proposed direction is under active consideration, with systemic reforms to address the issue. Today is Dragon Boat Festival. From Stanley's Open Seas to Shatton's Shingmun River, high-octane dragon boat races brought together sport, tradition, and community. In Stanley, nearly 4,000 paddlers from around the world joined the contests, while Shatton gathered home crowds cheering for some 190 teams vying for the dragon boat glory. Claire Lee Law and I were at the 2 venues respectively.
Thundering drum beats and rolling cheers echoed through the coastline of Stanley as the International Dragon Boat Championships got underway. Before hitting the water, the squads rallied their members and fired up their spirits.
We're ready for anything. Weather's not going to stop us. Wind, rain, nothing stops us.
The weather is quite good and we were all enjoying the match here.
Some stuck out with elaborate costumes, with locals and tourists coming to witness the Chinese traditional sport.
This is an awesome, unique experience. First time ever coming, and can't get anything like this anywhere else.
This is a wonderful piece of the tradition. So it's my second time here, and my wife's paddling.
The event also invited Olympic gold medalist skier Eileen Gu as an ambassador for their inaugural Dragon Beat DJ party.
Today's competition features 185 teams, with 4 teams traveling to Hong Kong to participate. A total of 4,000 athletes are taking part, and they will complete 47 races within a day.
Organizers anticipate over 100,000 spectators here in Stanley throughout the day.
Shanmun River in Shatin is full steam ahead from 8 in the morning. Paddles churn the sea in perfect rhythm. Every stroke followed the beat of the drum as crews surged down the course. Spectators filled both banks of the river cheering on the competitors. Shatin's program features 33 races, including the 500-meter events, 300-meter races, and Phoenix boat competitions. Around 190 teams took part.
The atmosphere and then the results are very excellent. You can see many people attend, whether as an audience or as a contestants. They perform really well. Teamwork is very important, as you said. Because it is not a single race; it's a team. So we have all those teammates, who strive for the best.
Also there was Secretary for Housing Winnie Ho, who presented awards to those who have striven for dragon boat glory. With a long, straight course and an unobstructed views from both sides, the Shanmun River remains a popular natural grandstand for dragon boat fans. Compared with beachside and coastal areas, the Shanmun River can offer a very clear view of the action from start to finish. The Hong Kong Tourism Board's Hong Kong International Dragon Boat Festival has also kicked off at the Tsim Sha Tsui waterfront, featuring 4 themed photo spots. A 22-meter traditional wooden dragon boat, once used by fishermen for racing, is also on display. Visitors can also take part in intangible cultural heritage workshops, including fishing net weaving. Food stalls line the Avenue of Stars, offering dragon boat-themed ice cream and specialty drinks. The festival runs until July 1st, with the food street open daily from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Lantau Island, Tai O residents held a traditional dragon boat water parade to celebrate the annual festival, with locals hoping the gala will bring about peace and good weather in the fishing village. Timothy Lee has more.
Villagers in the scenic fishing town of Tai O kicked off the parade with an age-old ritual involving their dragon boats plucking the greens that supposedly grants the locals good fortune. They would then visit 4 temples to offer prayers before carrying statues of popular folk deities such as Mazu and Hongsheng onto their vessels. Believed by locals of having the ability to bless the weather, the statues are brought to the waterways throughout the region in a parade holding spiritual significance. The statues would then be returned to the temples after the completion of the ritual. Legends say fishermen in the area began the cleansing ritual more than a century ago, after the town experienced a plague. The tradition remains well and alive today and was inscribed onto China's intangible cultural heritage list in 2011. This year also marks the first water parade in Tai O since the completion of the twin bridges of Yimton Bridge and Pochutan Bridge. Spectators gathered in masses on the platforms to enjoy views of richly decorated dragon vessels passing through waters right beneath their feet. This woman says she has enjoyed the water parade since her youth. While this mainland tourist said he's pleased to witness the gala being facilitated by such good weather and hopes the tradition can be preserved. This as better weather conditions initially led to hopes for improved business, but some shopkeepers said the overall business situation remains less than satisfactory. This man noted the rising tide of consumption in the mainland largely dashed hopes for the local economy, and hopes the Dragon Boat Parade could draw both locals and mainland visitors back to the city. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Welcome back. The death of a teenager in New York Central Park has led to renewed calls to ban horse-drawn carriages. The accident happened Wednesday when a horse bolted from its driver, who was reported to be taking photos for his passengers. The father of the victim said his son jumped out to try to save his mother after she fell out of the carriage. The city's leaders are now pushing to end the 150-year-old industry, but an operator said the death, while tragic, should not lead to the end of the practice.
So, I mean, we don't want to give up. We have to fight for our business, for our horses. This is number one thing, because this is an iconic thing in Central Park. Like when I call you Central Park, the first thing you remember is a horse carriage.
Labour's Andy Burnham, the current mayor of Greater Manchester, has won a special election for a seat in the UK's Parliament. The victory puts him in the position to potentially challenge and battle British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Danny Rao tells us more.
Labour Mayor Andy Burnham cleared a path on Friday to ousting British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, potentially ushering in a new bout of political instability by decisively winning a parliamentary seat in Northern England. Burnham, the Greater Manchester Mayor nicknamed King of the North, won the contest in Markfield in northwest England with 54.8% of the vote. He beat the candidate for Nigel Farage's populist Reform UK party on 34.5%. Burnham indicated he wanted to counter the rise of polarising populist politics.
I spoke in the campaign about the need to change politics. I promised to lead by example from the front as your Member of Parliament. I know people who traditionally vote for the Conservatives, the Liberal Democrats, the Greens, and perhaps more recently, in May, for Reform UK, have given me their support in this election. I will always have respect to them for that, and out of respect for them, I will always take a place first rather than a party first approach, and I will focus on problem solving rather than point scoring, and I will work hard after this by-election to heal the divisions of this campaign, and let it be really understood that I will be your MP.
Burnham has led Manchester since 2017, overseeing rapid regeneration for the city where the Industrial Revolution was forged. Burnham has backed the nationalisation of key public services and criticised what he called 4 decades of failed neoliberal economics, and has said he would stand in any contest to replace Starmer. Starmer, who has previously maintained he will fight any leadership challenge, took to social media to congratulate Burnham. Starmer's popularity has rapidly declined since he led the centre-left Labour Party to a landslide election victory in July 2024. He has struggled to deliver promised economic growth, repair tattered public services and ease the cost of living, and been hamstrung by repeated missteps, including his decision to appoint Peter Mandelson, a scandal-tarnished friend of Jeffrey Epstein, as the UK ambassador to the United States. Labour is losing Liberal voters to the growing Green Party and facing a rising Reform UK, which consistently leads in nationwide opinion polls. Dan Earl, TV News.
The Food and Environmental Hygiene Department recently selected 1,000 restaurants by ballot to join a pilot scheme allowing dogs to enter their premises starting July 9th. However, some successful applicants have been forced to withdraw because of restrictions from property deeds. Among them is this restaurant in Kai Tak, which has been denied formal permits after being selected in the first phase. This as the road outside the eatery falls within an area governed by Housing Department deed restrictions, which prohibit dogs from being walked there. That's despite several nearby private housing estates having adopted pet-friendly policies. The operator hopes authorities can exercise flexibility. Lawmaker Rebecca Chan has suggested the government review pet-related regulations in the next phase of the scheme, including relaxing pet restrictions in property deeds. The observatory issued the black rainstorm warning signal twice yesterday, with the worst weather conditions recorded in the new territories. All afternoon and evening classes were suspended at the time, with some lawmakers suggesting authorities to set up a district-by-district class suspension mechanism. Timothy Lee reports.
The observatory issued the black rainstorm warning signal twice within a single day on Thursday, but not all areas across the city experienced the same downpour. In Kowloon Tong, umbrellas were often unnecessary given the lack of rain. Rainfall of over 200 millimeters was recorded in the North District, Yuen Long, Tuen Mun, as well as Chai Lap Kok, while parts of Hong Kong Island only recorded 20 to 30 millimeters of rainfall. Such thunderstorms often affect only small segments of the city. According to the Education Bureau, all AM school and whole-day school classes are to be suspended if the observatory issues the red or black rainstorm warning signals between 5:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. Lawmaker Tang Fei from the Education constituency urged the Education Bureau to work with the observatory to set up a district-by-district class suspension mechanism in times of heavy rain.
He
said rain levels often differ by district, adding that the cancellation of classes in areas with less rain may be a wasteful measure. Meanwhile, the Geotechnical Engineering Office said it received 2 cases of landslides as of 9 a.m. on Friday, located in Yuen Long and Tuen Mun respectively. The office stressed the city's slopes may be in unstable condition after continuous days of heavy rain, and reminded residents to avoid elevated areas affected by the downpours. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
And that's the news. Happy Dragon Boat Festival, and thank you for watching.